Hello, everyone, and welcome back to AIM Country Music Television, where we bring you the latest and the greatest in country music. On this episode of Your New Favorite Song, we have a special treat for you. We're about to dive into the world of one of country music's brightest up and coming stars, none other than Joe Hermes. Joe has an authentic storytelling style, writes heartfelt and sometimes rock leaning melodies, and he's been making some waves on the country music scene. We're thrilled to have him join us to talk about his latest release, the video for his new song, Baptized by the South. So set your boots aside and settle in because coming up next is Your New Favorite Song featuring the one and the only Joe Hermes. Stick around as we delve into the making of Baptized by the South and get an exclusive behind the scenes look at the music video that's sure to get your attention. Let's get him in here right now to talk about what might just be your new favorite song. Welcome, Joe. I'm so happy you could make it today.
I'm glad to be here, Mark. Thanks for having me.
You're really welcome. I've been looking forward to it. I've been poring over your catalog, and you've got a pretty impressive body of work going, starting with your first radio hit in 2021, Stronger Than Whiskey.
Yeah.
And if I have it straight, you have another whiskey song coming out like early June. Is that right?
Yeah.
And what's that one called?
It's called Walk Away Whiskey. So I've got a handful of whiskey titles, and like any good country rock artist would have, I think,
That's right. You have one of those voices that kind of goes with it too. You kind of associate the whiskey songs with someone who has a little bit of a growl, and a
You
lot of
gotta
a
you
lot
gotta
of your
earn
music
you
has
gotta earn
that.
that. Yeah, you gotta earn that voice. A lot of late night yelling and drinking that burning whiskey in your throat. So
Well,
yeah.
even before that, you had like Waiting and Other Side that were really solid tunes. I think they gave us a pretty good idea of where you were heading.
Yeah.
I think the bio, I think it said Gunpowder Country is kind of what you use as your
Yeah, we're
banner.
we're rolling with that right now. I think, as just as a, as a rock country artist, it just, you know, it doesn't we don't feel like I really fall in like the black dirt or red dirt country or these other subgenres. So we kind of came up with gunpowder country to kind of paint the picture, because I mean, we do. I mean, I'll sit in and lay back and get into that storytelling voice, or I'll get right in your face and rock, like go off like gunpowder. So that's kind of the feel.
Nice. I like it. Well, I think it'd be a good idea if we back up just a little bit and have you give us a resume so everyone has a good idea of who you are. Just take a few minutes and tell us all about you.
Well, so I grew up. I'm from central Illinois, right in a little small town called Hayworth, Illinois, right next to Normal. Um, and grew up just listening to uh, a variety of music. I don't come from like a musical family per se in any way, shape, or form. It wasn't until about junior high where I picked up my first guitar and started playing with my buddies, just learning Metallica songs and starting a high school rock band and stuff like that. And I got into the hard rock scene, heavy metal hard rock scene pretty well into my 18, 19, 20-year-old self. And I did that in between playing college football and high school football. And I was kind of always torn between the two worlds. And, uh, and I found out that, um, that uh, started having a little bit of success locally with the hard rock stuff. And, with that, I crashed and burned pretty hard, if you know what I mean. And I actually set music down for about 10 years. I didn't even touch a guitar.
Whoa.
And yeah, and I went back to finish out playing college football and played a little bit of arena football and then got into college coaching. And while I loved college coaching and everything that went with that, um, there was this creative part of me that wasn't getting satisfied. And I picked up the acoustic guitar and just, which I had one laying around because it was always like, it was always electric guitars and Marshall stacks and things like that, and um, just started dabbing with songwriting and went to an open mic. I had met a girl and I was trying to impress her, and so I played her part of this song I was writing, and she goes, "You're pretty good. Have you ever thought about, going to an open mic?" And I go, "Not really." But they had one like just down the street, so uh, I went, and getting up on stage without a band and just with you and a guitar and a voice that, like, I didn't know how to sing. Like, I just knew how to like scream and rock and get into the song.
It's different.
And it was very different, very vulnerable. But something about it I liked. I mean, that's not my um natural state, if you will, to try to be on stage like that. But with the coaching, I mean, you kind of put on a persona as well, and you're always on. And I just kind of took that and applied it to um, the music, and I just kind of floated along doing that for a few years. And my wife and I, that girl became my wife, I guess I should say that, which is the song "Stronger Than Whiskey." Uh, when I met her, that song, not to get too far ahead of this story, but that song was written about the night I met her. And I was a pretty solid whiskey drinker on the weekends and evenings, and uh, meeting her, it was just it was captivating, and it was much stronger than the whiskey I was drinking, and that's kind of how that song was born. Um, but her and I went through some personal tragedy. We had a late term loss and lost our little girl, and it floored us pretty good. And I moved back home, started working in the family business again, and I had put the guitar down again. I just did a couple of years of just floating around some open mics and things, and then I took another 3 4 year sabbatical from that and got into like the blue collar, just getting my hands dirty, driving my work van around and working on washers and dryers, and like going from a Division I college coaching environment to something like that. The money was better, but man, I was hurting and inside. And then I went and talked to somebody, and they kind of brought it to light that I had never really dealt with the loss of our baby girl. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, that's all I've been doing is dealing with that. And they're like, no, I can tell you right now, you've never dealt with that. So I went home that night, wrote that song "Other Side" in about 15 minutes, went to an open mic, and I played it. They booked me for a show. I went to that show and um, brought some of my friends in that I had met at that open mic because I didn't have enough material to cover, anything close to a show. And um, in walks this artist manager from Nashville, and he was passing through on his way to Wisconsin. And this is just uh, a little bitty dive bar type place in Bloomington, Illinois. And I got word that he was coming in, and so I'm like all kinds of nervous, and I think I performed horribly, but he thought there was something there, and he goes, "You ever thought about coming down to Nashville?" And I said, um, "Maybe a little bit." And he says, "Well, do you have a demo?" And I said, "Nothing I want to hand you." And I'd had some like little demos from the Rock Band days, and some just stuff off my phone from songwriting, and I think I did one little acoustic demo back years and years ago when I was doing those open mics. And he goes, "Well, I'll tell you what, you come down to Nashville with me. I'll put you around some folks that I know. And if you like it, great. And if you don't, no big deal." Um, so 2 weeks later, I'm walking into Music Row, downtown Nashville, and into Ocean Way Studios, which is an iconic, beautiful, beautiful studio. And Buddy Hyatt is producing his demo sessions, and of course he's got all these A-list studio guys in there that I didn't even know who they were. Like, I just knew that they were freaking awesome. Brent Mason on guitar, and Lonnie Wilson on drums, and I can go on and on. I mean, there's probably you know eight or ten of them in there. Zach Allen engineering the audio, and he's I think at least one or two Grammy awards. I mean, it's just like it was so nerve-wracking and cool. And it reminded me of like the first time I went to that open mic, and I kind of went after it the same way. I was like, and I think it's that football guy in me that I just said, uh, well, you got two choices here. You can either go all in or you can run away.
Went on offense real quick.
Yeah, yeah. And so I just leaned into it and went after it, and um, loved it. I had sent down a couple of songs, but he charted them out and gave them to all the players, and I just to hear the song just blow up and become Whiskey Stonehand was the first song, and then other side was the second one. And to hear these songs um, just come to life, I fell in love with it. And I'm like, that's what
So
I want to do.
so your first real studio experience was at Ocean Way with Buddy Hyatt.
My first real, yeah, yeah.
And
I had been in a
that's
couple little
nuts.
little hometown studios. I'd been in a couple little hometown studios with my buddies, like back right after high school, and then for like an afternoon with a buddy of mine when I was coaching, when I was just playing the open mics, and that was it. So like I had no idea. But the Alan Barclay, the guy that had brought me down there, um, he coached me up, told me what to expect and how it was going to go. And ironically enough, Bucky Covington booted my time back about 30 minutes. So we were heading downtown, and uh, Shaggy is his name. Shaggy gets the call that or a text, I think, from Buddy Hyatt saying, "Hey, we're running a little behind, and I didn't think it was really going to happen. I think even driving down, like as I'm hearing about what's getting ready to happen, and anyway, so we walk in, and Bucky and his brother, his twin brother, are in there, and his whole entourage, and of course all the musicians, and and I knew just Bucky from American Idol, and I was like, holy crap, I just got big timed by Bucky Covington. And I was like, and so uh, Bucky leaves, and we get started, and I fall in love with it, and went ahead and did the 5-song EP that I named "Souls with Stones," and in reflection of visiting, the grave site for my little girl, and it just made sense. It's like it was why I was there, right?
Yeah, that's
Um,
fantastic.
yeah, and so we get the EP done. I'm from Bloomington, and the hype is starting to build. That I'm down there shaking it up with some people, and I come back and we have an EP kind of release party, and I mean just packed this this club bar here in town. Um, I was just blown away. Like my mom and dad came up, and they're like, "Yeah, we were coming down the street, and we looked, from the main street, and we looked over and saw just all these cars in the lot." And my mom's like, "I looked at your dad and go, do you think they're all there for Joe?" and and he goes, "I think so." And so they walk in, and of course there's tons of people, and I threw a band together. We had about like 4 weeks to rehearse, like for this show, and I didn't have a band, so I just started calling everybody I knew from like the open mics that I had went to, and so we just we did it, and made some fans that night, and I'm sure it was nothing like it is today, but it was fun, and the energy was there. And then that was in the fall of 2019, and so that then we turn around, we do our next show um, in the uh, early early or late winter, early spring of 2020, before COVID, and we had twice the amount of people there. I was getting sponsored by Jesse James from Jackal and his whiskey for that show, like because I liked it, and I knew I had met Jesse James, and we asked, okay, can we work together on the show? And so we did, and it was just it was surreal. I mean, this place was sold out. It was insane, and I'm just like, this is awesome. And then of course March of 2020 hit, and everything shut down, and I was just like a balloon that got popped right out of the air, and so I thought I was done. I thought like, well, there's no momentum here to build on. There's no shows to play. There's nothing to do. Well, um, Shaggy Allen, uh, Shaggy Allen Barclay is his name, and I split ways because he didn't, there was nothing for him to manage because there was nothing going on, and I just went about 2 months, and I reached out to one guy that I knew, and I said, "Hey, I think I'd like to start writing in Nashville. I've never written with anybody. Do you have anybody that you think would want to write with me?" And he turns me on to one guy. I didn't know who this guy was, um, but I knew that he was recommended as a guy that you know was a solid producer and songwriter. Um, his name was Dale Oliver, and so I talked to Dale on the phone, told him kind of what was going on, and Dale actually, because of COVID, was pulled off the road. He was touring with Black Hawk. I'm sure you're familiar with the country rock band, southern rock band Black Hawk, and he had nothing going on really because of COVID, and so we were like, well, hell, let's just get together, and so completely unrelated. I go down to Dale's, meet him, and started working, started writing a song with. He brought in a writer, another writer. His name's Dan Couch, and Dan's written with the best of the best. He's an excellent writer. He just wrote on that hit that the Red Clay Strays are out there touring on right now. I can't think of the title on that, but um, great writer. I and had a great experience, and we sat down, wrote "Stronger Than Whiskey." We get done with that, and I was going to come back and do a final vocal on that song. We did the rough cut, and he goes, "Hey, I got a guy." Dale said, "Hey, I got a guy that could probably come in and help you uh, a little bit on like just how to approach the microphone." And he goes, "His name is Bucky Covington." And I just like, you're kidding me. So my first trip to Nashville was with Bucky. And it's just like, you can't make this stuff up. I mean, completely unrelated uh, chain of events that led to that. And then so, Bucky came in, and he, because he was a rock guy, and trying to lay back on the beat a little bit and start to sing country. And it was we're still buddies today, and it's great. So started songwriting, and then we took our time, and in uh 2022 we were done writing, and there, like, right at the first part of the year of 2023, we released Rock in a Country Town, which is the full length album that I have out right now. And off of that, we did several radio singles, Stronger Than Whiskey being one of those, and then the um, several more. We had a song called "Used to Be Me" that did make its way up pretty good for an independent artist on the Music Row charts. I think we made it down to like 46 on the chart. Um, that was a whole different experience too. I just didn't know what was going on. Still don't know what's going on. I just try to act like it a little better.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean that. It's so now we're writing, and Dale and I have been working together steady. I'm going down there in 2 days, um, back down to Nashville. I go to Nashville for about a week every month, and I've been doing that for shoot 4 years now. And so I basically spend 25% of my time there. I've got friends there. I mean, it's really like my second home. But all my family's up here, and I still have a business that I run. Um, unless all of your AIM Country Music TV people want to get behind me and make this my full time job, which I wouldn't be opposed to. But until then, I got to stay up here and run this business. So,
Exactly.
um,
Well, it sort of sounds like with all the happenstance things that you've had happen, it seems like you might be where you belong.
yeah,
It's like you might
I
belong on that
mean,
stage. Well, your sound pushes, pretty hard on country rock to the point that you almost switch it around and call it rock country. Uh,
yes.
I read that you opened for Uncle Cracker and Lita Ford and Jackal, all rock people. Was that with your earlier band, or has that been since you've been doing country
No,
music?
that's now. We did we opened for Uncle Cracker last fall.
Okay.
Um, and the year before that it was Lita Ford, and then Jackal was before that, and then but like guys like Ward Davis, Colby Cooper,
Yeah.
uh, there's been um, Craig Campbell was a really fun
Yeah.
one. So all I do is, I just kind of tone it down a little bit on stage, and we've got enough songs that I'll kind of tailor the set list a little bit. So it's always,
Right.
I always have the same kind of rock edge,
Yes.
but if I'm going for more of the, uh, if I'm with more of the rock bands,
Mhm.
I'm the country guy. But if I'm
Right.
with the country acts, then I'm the rock guy, right? Like, so it's kind of how I flow back and forth. And it works, and I'm cool with
It
it.
does.
Doesn't bother
Yeah.
me none.
Well, like I say, I've been going through your songs, and the majority of them really work well as that pretty strong rock edge to them, but most of them can also be toned pretty easy. I think, people go through I think everybody should just kind of go through the catalog and see what you think. But to me, there's definitely, to me, it's the storytelling that more makes the country song than it is necessarily like the banjo and it's like guitars. I mean, it's our steel
Yeah,
guitars, uh, is, sort of makes it. So to me, it's, you take that storytelling and you sit down with acoustic guitar,
yeah,
it's a whole different experience. And all of your songs, I think, fit that mold pretty well.
yeah. And thank you. And I
Yeah.
agree. And that's where I like to be, because I realize, like, as I'm getting older now, to go out and put on a 45 minute, just straight hard rock show. I'm like, I don't know how I would do that. So I've got to pace myself. So I got to write the song. I can rock it up at moments, and then I got time to recover and lay back and get
Yeah.
down into that deeper voice a little bit, and then get
Yeah.
up into those choruses, and um,
Right.
so that's it. It's a lifestyle choice.
There you go. Hey, as long as the audience likes it, that's the main thing. Hey, from what I've
Yeah.
gleaned, it looks like your live shows come on really strong. Which of the songs that you play in a live show get the best crowd reaction? Either
Oh, shoot.
dancing or clapping or jumping up and down. What gets a crowd going with your music?
Yeah. So, if I can set them up right, not fumble over my words, that's usually a big part of it. We have a song called "Sundown Renegade,"
Mhm.
and it's a ballad, and people that know it, it's fun because I hear them singing it back to me
Yeah.
in the chorus, and um, it's a nice just a kind of a power ballad type of song, and it's written in the perspective uh, of a lady that has had enough of her outlaw renegade boyfriend that keeps going off and drinking whiskey every night. I don't know where that came from. She
Cautionary
she
tale.
yeah, she draws the line and says enough's enough, and takes control of her life back, right? And that's the premise of the song. And I
Hmm.
think if I set it up right, they really like that song live. Another song that, for the rock side of things, we have a song called "The Grip,"
Hmm.
and the guitar work on it is pretty heavy, and we have fun with that. It's a lot of energy. That's off the first EP that we did. But as far as the rock stuff, what we've been doing this last year that isn't out yet, we're kind of floating into uncharted territory, Dale and I, and so everybody out there listening or watching, keep your eyes open because you're going to see this fusion of hard rock guitar tones mixed with banjos and dobros and some swampy stuff that's just really cool. I mean, it gets everybody I play them for.
I'm
Uh,
excited for that. Come back on when you get one of those ready to release.
I will, and so we kind of tease that with the song that we're talking about today,
Mhm.
which is "Baptized by the South."
Yes, sir.
Um, and I would say that this "Baptized by the South" is the lead off song to some of these other songs that we're getting ready to bring out.
Sure.
The second single we got coming out here later is "Walk Away Whiskey." That's
Yes.
going to be more. That's going to be more towards the uh, country radio style
Hmm.
song that was maybe more reflective of the rock in a country town material. But we have uh, we have some songs coming out that one's called Black Label Country,
Hmm.
and it's just that it's about being kind of the whiskey drinking black sheep rock guy of country music, just shoving it right down your throat,
I
and
like
unapologetically. And we got another one called American Muscle,
that.
and it's in respect of our military and our troops that
Hmm.
put their life on the line, and it's about showing people the real American muscle out there. Um, those are pretty hard hitting. We got another one called Devil in the Details,
Hmm.
and I'm really excited for that. But yeah, the more aggressive parts of Baptized by the
Yeah.
South that you'll hear like in the choruses, that
Yes.
grit and that you know under those undertones of angst and just that really comes alive in those songs. And then we have some other more like laid back songs that I think are very appealing too. So it's really we're taking kind of the same concept from rock and a country town, but we're amplifying both ends of the
Right.
spectrum.
Right. Well, tell us a little bit about Baptized by the South before we play it here. I love that. I love
Sure.
the way the banjo kind of carries the rhythm into things, and then
Right?
the slide guitar comes in and kind of sings its part. Well, I'm a big fan of slide guitar, so
That
that gets me
that
right out of the box.
slide when Dale played that slide solo, I just I got goosebumps. I mean, it
It's good.
hits just right, and it just feels right for the song. So I was on a radio tour last summer, down in southern Tennessee, northern Alabama, and Dale had called me while I was on the road, and this was about a 3 week radio run, and we covered about 3,000 miles, um, touched 10 states, and he calls me about halfway through, and he's like, "Hey man, how's it going?" And I'm like, "Pretty good. I love it down here. I love Nashville. I really love it in southern Tennessee and northern Alabama, and just even into Georgia, and just like the country. And it wasn't just the countryside, but it was the people. The people, that southern hospitality hit so hard that I just felt like I was being baptized by the South. And I came back from that radio tour, and Dale's like, "Man, I started on this song based off of our conversation." And he plays me a rough cut of the track that he started building. And I was just like, "Man, I love that." And so I went down like a week later. I sang it in like 2 takes. It was born. And so then we were sitting on that since last June. And, then that kind of opened the door for the Joe that I think everybody's going to see here over the next year, and it really opened you know the reflection of who I really am, and whereas before there's parts of me in all of these songs, real life situations, but we were chasing, trying to find my sound, right? Like find the real artist, and because I mean, once you get used to the hot mics and the bright lights and the stages and stuff, and all that goes with it, I mean, it's distracting, and you're trying to figure out like what you want to say and who you want to be, and um, I feel like we're really getting there now. So it's awesome that you guys are uh, able to help amplify this, and I'm excited.
I think it's time to let our audience check it out. What do you think?
I think so. Let it rip.
Perfect. You're watching Joe Hermes' video for Baptized by the South on AIM Country Music Television.
Friday nights is for cruising town with the music cranked up loud. And Saturdays and football games, sipping cold ones on the couch. Hunting, fishing, it's a way of life, living off this land. Family time and walking the line, Sunday mornings we join hands. Baptized by the South, church bells ring out. Sins of the sons and daughters, washed in the shine in the holy water. Baptized by the South, roots grow way down, where the people are proud, still kneel and pray and thank God for every day. Baptized by the South. That old black flood water, it's the devil's daughter. And if that levee breaks, it's up to the heavenly Father what this land gives or takes. Baptized by the South, church bells ring out. Sins of the sons and daughters, washed in the shine in the holy water. Baptized by the South, roots grow way down, where the people are proud, still kneel and pray and thank God for every day. Baptized by the South. Watching out for those summer storms, it comes around every June. Though the farmers' fields need the rain, they can take a life too soon. Baptized by the South, church bells ring out. Sins of the sons and daughters, washed in the shine in the holy water. Baptized by the South, roots grow way down, where the people are proud, still kneel and pray and thank God for every day. Baptized by the South.
Wow, your voice really connects. Really nice rasp, but really strong, clear notes. It's on my playlist now. I really like when you come out of the one chorus and you go to this real throaty, clear note at the end of that one chorus. It's just great.
Yeah, kind of just, I mean, kind of cuts through in a
Yes,
cool, chilling way, I think. I
I
mean,
think it
when I
does.
heard
Yeah, yeah. I'm
I
gonna have to
heard the
listen to it a few
playback
more
on
times to see
all
what
that,
I really think it means. But I definitely like the song.
we yeah, I mean, as soon as we got that song cut, I mean, the ideas for a music video or performance video just started rolling out. we waited to shoot that video. I wanted to shoot it last fall, and it just it felt like we were rushing it, and I really wanted to capture like the river and a little bit of greenery, and so we pushed it off as far as we could, and we waited, and ironically enough, it landed the video shoot date landed the day after Easter. Just happened to land that way. So we had Easter, and then I was going over to the Piney River there, just southwest of Nashville, working with Andy Evinger, and he found this site. And that water, let me tell you, that water was freezing cold. I mean, it might look okay on video, but let me tell you, I had to have a wetsuit on under those jeans and boots. Like it was hypothermia type of cold.
It's
And
from
then,
my heart when you bang the water with your guitar.
well, before everybody gets all mad at Big Joe for smashing the guitar around,
You needed to explain that.
I will let everybody know, especially my bandmates that were all mad, that was a prop guitar that I had bought for $50 from a guy that sold prop guitars. I would never do that to my Takamine. Or
I
my
wanted to give you a chance to explain that because I personally backed up through that 2 or 3 times to see if I could see that there was. Is this a different guitar? Or is he using his guitar there?
It
I panicked.
Yeah, it is. And so like what you couldn't see was the back of the neck of that guitar. That neck had snapped. It was a brand new guitar. That neck had snapped off in shipping, and this guy had fused it all back together and sold it as decorations.
So
And
you're not
I
so
found
terrible after all.
no, no, and
Before I let
it,
you get out of here, before you escape us, tell us where we can find you online, on stage, and where we can buy or listen to all this music.
So Joe Hermes Music, it's Hermes. Joe Hermes Music is my handle for all socials. It's my website, joehermesmusic.com. I'd love everybody to jump on, show some support, follow me along. I cannot tell you how much that means to myself and of course other artists, but we really do feed off of that. And as far as performing, we do a lot around Central Illinois. I get down to Nashville once in a while. We're trying to, so we've got a big show coming up here. I'm not sure when this airs, but June 13th, we're playing with Cody Johnson and Larry Fleet and Austin Snell and a bunch of other guys at Tailgate and Tall Boys in Bloomington, Illinois.
Yeah, and that's all on the website. I saw the dates and stuff on there.
Yep. And then I've got some acoustic shows, and we're really just now starting to get out and play. So if anybody watching wants to bring me and the other boys down, shoot me a message, and we'll come out and play.
Sounds good. Well, thanks for joining us, Joe. It's been fun getting to know you just a little bit better.
Absolutely, Mark. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Hermes. So what do you guys think? Is Baptized by the South going to be your new favorite song? This has been Mark Gilliott for AIM Country Music Television. Thank you for watching.
Baptized by the South, church bells ring out. Sins of the sons and daughters washed in the shine.